Hey guys, LevelCap here. Today we're going to talk about the changes that have been made in the latest patch to Star Wars Battlefront. There's been a lot of updates, bug fixes, and balance changes, and they're pretty substantial, so if there was a loadout that you just used to use all the time, it might not work the same way anymore. Let's go over some of the hero changes real quick. Boba Fett got a pretty substantial nerf, and I agree with it because he was one of the easiest heroes to use on a lot of maps and just rack up tons and tons of kills. Basically, his blaster does a lot less damage at range now, and also his wrist launcher has a smaller explosion radius, although the inner explosion radius has been increased slightly. However, the missile no longer locks on now, so you're actually going to have to aim the thing. This is a big change in how this character plays out, so if you're used to just wrecking with Boba, well, you're going to need a little bit more skill now. And mind you, I'm not going to go over every single note here, just the more substantial changes that have been made, and one of the bigger ones is homing shot, the thing that everybody who enjoyed playing this game pretty much hated being killed by. This infantry locking missile launcher used to lock in 0.4 seconds, now it locks in 1.5 seconds. That is over 3 times as long as it previously took, so this is a huge nerf to the homing shot. Also, the lock on distance was decreased by 10 meters, so it's shorter range, and the projectile speed has been lessened from 30 to 23. This is like a huge nerf. Huge nerf. You can still use it, you can still get kills with it, it's just not going to be as easy to do so. It will still definitely cater to people who don't have as good of accuracy, but it won't be an overpowered weapon that skilled players can use in a pinch to get an easy kill. The explosive shot charge card has gotten a bit of a nerf for the EE3 and the SE14C, the 2 burst fire weapons in the game. Previously, it was so good with those guns that you could kind of one burst people, especially with the EE3, you could one burst them from across the map. People didn't even have a chance to react to it. So the damage per shot with that has been lessened significantly from like 10 to 4 with the EE3 and from 10 to 5 with the SE14C. So it's going to be far less effective with those guns, and you might want to consider running something else if that was your previous combo. Explosive spam, perhaps a little bit too much in the previous version of Battlefront. Well, it shouldn't be as big of an issue anymore. Ion torpedoes, flash grenades, barrage grenade launchers, thermal detonators, and impact grenades have all had their recharge time increased substantially. So you're not going to be able to throw grenades as quickly as you could before. You're not going to be able to fire the barrage as quickly as you could before. In fact, the barrage has been substantially increased. So it's pretty much over double the recharge time with that. So there's a lot of weapons now that you can use, and they'll still be as effective as they were before. You just won't be able to use them as frequently. The bowcaster also got a bit of a nerf in the recharge time, but also its explosive shots are going to be doing less per shot, and it actually makes more sense to charge up the bowcaster fully now to do more damage per shot. If you only charge it to 1 or 3, it's only going to be doing 10 explosive damage per shot. Now, not all weapons got huge nerfs. The cycler rifle has seen a buff because it was not particularly good before. The bullet drop was absolutely insane. Well, they've greatly reduced the bullet drop now, and they've increased its damage from 90 to 100 for close quarter engagement, so you'll still be able to one-shot somebody in CQB with the cycler rifle, get those cool hipfire kills up close. At range, you'll be able to headshot people more accurately now since the bullet drop is less extreme, so you can still get those one-shot kills if you can aim for the head or if they have a little bit of damage done to them. Ion torpedoes and smart rockets have had their lock-on range decrease substantially, both to 500 meters. The ion torpedo before had a 600 meter lock-on, and the smart rocket had a 1,000 meter lock-on. So this is going to make infantry a little bit less effective against vehicles, and I know personally from driving the AT-ST around, those ion rockets would get you before you even got close to the action. One of the most complained about guns in the game, the DL-44, has had a pretty substantial nerf. Not only has its overheat been tweaked, but its fire rate has been changed. It used to shoot at 250 rounds per minute, which is crazy fast for that gun, and now it has been reduced to 180. So it's going to be more of a precision weapon that you have to time your shots with now, rather than just spam fire and get a lot of lucky kills, since it's so incredibly powerful. The machine gun blaster RTC-97 has had the overheat increased a little bit, and its spread has been increased a little bit when firing for longer periods of time. This should separate it more from the DLT-19, make it it more of a brawler, slightly close quarter weapon compared to the DLT-19. The charge card scan ping has been nerfed a little bit. Basically now you can only spot people for 50% of the time that they were spotted before, and its recharge time has been reduced a bit as well. So basically your 3D wall spotting has been nerfed. If you're a fan of Fighter Squadron, well, the Millennium Falcon and Slave One have 30% decreased health, so that should make them a little bit more fair, but still probably pretty overpowered. Turbo lasers have been modified on some of the maps. Those are those huge lumbering green laser cannons that you can get into and absolutely wreck people in spawns. Some of them have actually been permanently removed from the map Solist to prevent some of the spawn killing that was going on there. And there's been a lot of other little small map tweaks with spawning situations and spawning algorithms to try and prevent some of the spawn killing. A lot of the point scoring in game modes has been tweaked. Fighter Squadron will reward you with even less points for taking down AI fighters now to increase you to go after other players, so that's a pretty nice update. The developers also acknowledge that the A-Wing still needs to be nerfed in a way, just because its hitbox is so small and it's hard to hit compared to any of the other fighters in the game. So they have acknowledged this, and they said that they're going to try and fix it in an upcoming patch. Now, there have been a lot more changes made in this patch, and if you want every single detail, you can check out the patch notes. Again, I've linked them in the video description. Overall, though, I think this is a great balance patch. I mean, obviously a lot of good bug fixes and spawning fixes as well, but just the weapon balance, I couldn't agree more with what the developers have done here. I think it's going to make the game much more fair, much more fun, and less explosive spammy, which will be nice. Put the shooter back in the shooter. And as always, I recommend trying it out for yourself. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you next time. This is LevelCap signing off.